Hey to everyone out there. I just wanted to get on. It's late here where I'm at. I'm up and something hit me. And that's always I like to be authentic, transparent, because I know that I'm not the only one going through similar things, and I want to encourage, inspire, motivate someone to seek God in the answer. And and that's a every day to the moment down to the last second thing that you have to do. Seeking God in what to do, what to say, and how to do it. But the thing I want to talk about tonight is, what do you do, or how do you handle people who you may love, who you may have a close relationship with? What do you do when they attack you, when they slander, when they accuse, gaslight, lie on you? What do you do? How do you handle that? How do you handle that person? How do you get your emotions to come into into discipline? How do you do that? How do you still push past what that person said to you and still say, I'm not going to allow this to um, deter me? Um, Transparent. I deal with this. I deal with being called out my name. And let me say that I don't deal with it as in like a everyday situation, whereas that person live in my home. No, I had came a long way from that. I'm talking about when you have to have, not have to, but you have to have some form of relationship with people, if it be very distant or close. Sometimes, with your parents, children, um, spouses that may treat you a certain way for whatever reason, whatever they got going on, they may find it funny, they may find it due to they been hurt, now they want to hurt you. Some do it due to mental illness and disorder they may have. But for you and myself included, how do we respond to that? How do we protect our heart? Because the strength of our heart is hurt. They damage too. They ruin it too. How do you don't lash back out? And I'm the first one to tell you, I am not perfect. I done fell off that wagon so many times. I have stepped out of what I know God wanted me to do, and I allow, and no, in my particular case, I allowed my children, because we had words. He'll say something to me, and he would tick me off, and I let him have it. I did feel bad sometimes, not because of what I said or why I said it to him. I felt bad because I knew they were not what God character. They were not what God that were not the character God given me, and that what He would not expect me to do. So I felt bad in that manner. I mean, because hey, it feel good, getting that stuff off your chest. Is it right? Not always. It's a better way to put things. Was it the right time for? No, because I behind my emotion. I spoke out of anger. I spoke out of turn. Because the Bible reminds us, be slow to speak. Don't do things out of anger. And also let your word be yeah and nay, and then also that, speak with love, speak with, because your words can be like honey. They more acceptable and pleasing to be received by a person. Um, so what do you do? And I'm talking about because I have to deal with that right now. I have to practice putting my emotions in place, not allowing people to pull me out of it because they got their opinions about me. And I have to train my mind to allow the words to just go past me. But how did I get here? It's by practice and progress and learning and getting back up and doing it again. I felt so many times. I don't I don't know how many times, but it was a lot. Every time I said something that was sarcastic, clap back. said something that was you know, curse with, no, not curse, but yes, I did curse, using curse word, profanity, vulgar language, all that, because I'm upset what was said to me, what was spoken to me. So I'm returning the same target. So as I keep going back to it, so what did I do? I start finding myself in the word. I start finding myself in how God wanted me to respond. It's not easy if you are always been in your emotion talking to people that you never took a moment to pause and say, is what I'm saying is something that God would want me to say. Is it anything that God would say to somebody? Is this how I should be speaking to this person or saying to this person? Because I wasn't using that. So I had to train myself to pause the best I can. And let me tell you, I'm still learning that today. But I done came a long way. And once I found myself learning what God wanted me to do, now I have to practice in action. And so one thing I started to do was, sometimes I still have to practice this. Just be silent. Just be silent. I have been called horrendous thing. I have been called gutter, lower than low. I've been told how non-important I am, how I am viewed, things that are not true, very far from the truth of who I am. Even currently, right now, as I'm speaking, I am coming, like I'm saying, I'm coming to be authentic and transparent. I am being called things that is just unbelievable. That I've been told how I live my life, and it's far from the truth. How much hated I am. How much I'm not even a human with emotions and feelings. I'm just basically, I can't even say, I'm just basically in that person's eyes and view very low. And I'm not saying, does it hurt? Yes, it hurts. However, I learned that I can't respond to anger. I learned that whatever that person's saying to me, actually reflect a lot about their views on themselves. Um, Also, I see hurt coming in many forms of it: rejection, fear, denial. No, Satan attack people. It's also saying that this person have a opening in their life that Satan is coming through them, and Satan using them to attack me, and probably whoever else they want that Satan want to get to. So with that being said, and because now I'm learning that and knowing that, I'm held accountable. So I take the anger that I have the best I can, and I sit down with God, because there are times that I cannot respond back. Not I just can't respond back to that person. I'm just silent. I let them have it. I don't respond to what they call me, because I'm not that. I'm not going to respond to being broke. I'm not going to respond to being a loose woman, because that's not me. I'm not going to respond to being I don't want to say, I'm not going to respond to being something that's crap, because that's not me. You are not talking to me. I'm not that woman. I'm not that person. I'm not that human. So I don't respond to that. I'm not going to respond. And that go for you. Don't allow people to call you things and you respond back to it. Dumb. Don't respond to people calling you stupid and dumb. Ugly. No. If you don't want to be called whatever, broke, anything that's derogatory, negative, and slander that can be a pitfall for you, don't respond back to. You ain't got to. If they're not calling you by your, the name that was given on your birth certificate, don't respond back to it. They can call you by your first name. Don't respond to it when they try to insinuate something about you that's not true. That's gonna push you down even further. If someone say, "Well, she's not bright because she can't learn it," don't respond back to it. Because guess what? Say you ain't talking to me. Cause in that, If you respond to it as in giving like a emotional response, that means you agree to it in a way. So someone said, what do you do when someone does that? Um, Number one thing is ask God for a strategy on how to deal with that person and how your responses should line up. Um, Silence, or as I mentioned before, being silent. Also, responding in love. It is not easy, but it can be done. That's where it comes into play with you controlling your emotion, because your emotion will want you to respond out of hurt, anger, and everything else to a high, to a very high point. So y'all can go back and forth. So, your spirit can be casting out negative stuff. That person's spirit be casting out negative stuff. And guess what? The demon just having a ball, because now you have allowed in all the words of chaos, destruction, torment, pain, madness. That's what the devil wants. But when you respond in love, when you respond with, I apologize. I'm sorry that you feel that way. Or, just respond in love, or, just say, you know what? I hear you, and I love you anyway. I forgive you. Just, find responses that ignite positive, and then also watch your tone. Sometimes you just can't say a little bit, sharper in a head roll movement. You gotta control all your action with all your emotions. So you know what? I'm not gonna say it snappy. I can say, I'm sorry you don't. I'm sorry that you feel that way, and leave it at that. You can say, do you want some cookie? Do you want something to eat? Or just leave out the room. And then once you go out that room, see, because what you're doing, you're not giving them a negative response to feed off of. When the devil don't have nothing to feed off of, which is in that person's heart, in their spirit, when the devil don't have nothing to feed out of, he got to stop. They can't argue with you. They can't call you out your name. Walk out the room. Lead the conversation where it's at. And then what you do is, and I mean, this is probably, I'm in a different part of my house. Because once things get like that, I stop and I go to the Father. And I say everything how I feel. I let it go. The hurt, the pain, weary, anguish. I let it go. I tell him everything. And no, I don't go out there all with, the King James language, die, thus. No. I don't. I say, God, it hurts. God, I'm not the thing that this person called me as. That's not me. You know me. You know what I do and don't do. I tell him about it. And then I line myself back up with the scriptures, saying that I'm safe in the presence of the Father. I am loved by God. I take I take comfort in knowing that He's my refuge and my fortress. My cup runs over. I live a life of peace and serenity. I have bold confidence. I am not going to cast my confidence away, because it will reward me greatly. One other script. No, I'm using affirmation in the forms of. Well, I'm using scriptures in the form of affirmation. So I'm making them my own. So these are things that I say to catch what happened in that situation, to catch my emotion and put my emotion in place. Because I'm reminding myself, reminding my emotions that we are not going to do this, because we are better than this. Be still and know that He is God. Knowing that, then also knowing that I pray, that God cover me with His blood, that Jesus cover me with His blood, and that He also cover that person, whoever has something negative to say, with the blood of Jesus, because evidently they need help. And so I'm at the Bible, the Bible said, do not seek revenge, do not curse, but actually bless that other person. And one of the best way you can bless someone is pray for them. Just pray for them. And you speak over. See, sometimes people don't have folks speaking into their lives and they just live their life in default. If you gain your strength and your confidence knowing who you are in Christ Jesus and in God, you can have enough wisdom, enough knowledge to start speaking into someone else's life without even have to be in their presence. You know, y'all remember the movie, what was it? The War Room. You don't have to have a closet. Everybody don't have a closet. But wherever you can find yourself, whatever moment you can get to yourself, after you come off a situation that is emotionally high, toxic, tell God about it. Sometimes all you gotta do is cut on whatever worship song that you can soak in something. Tell him about it. Write it, draw it, whatever you gotta do. Just tell him about it. Because it's not easy. I ain't gonna lie to you, it's not easy. It's practice. It's renewing of the mind. It's having God to place that desire in you to move forward in love. So to the person out there that's going through a situation with someone, they don't know how to respond. I'm telling you to respond in love the best you can. Sometimes silence is enough. Deflecting the comments can be enough. And then you take everything to God. You pour it out to him. Let him deal with you. Let him deal with your heart. Let him deal with the hurt. Also remember this. Cancel out everything negative that was spoken. Cancel it out. Don't accept it. Don't let it linger. Cancel it out with me immediately. As soon as you cancel it out. You know, and find yourself asking God to deal with that person. Help them with their heart. Help them with their healing. Help them with their deliverance. So, I'm not going to say anymore, but I know this helps someone, motivate someone to work on it. To know that you're not going to be perfect, but you can work somewhere and stop responding back. And in due time, you will see the result that God will heal your hearts. You won't be fazed by what that person's saying, doing anymore. God will give you ways to deal with that person. He will allow you to not be moved. He will cover you. He will give you serenity in the midst of the battle. When you start aligning yourself with his word, when you start initiating his word in the battle, in the situation, watch God move on your behalf. Sometimes God won't even let that person say anything to you. They are probably trying to speak negative in the middle, but they can't even do that. They have to bless you. So it's up to you to decide what you want to do. As I always try to say, I always try to end it. Walk in love, live by faith, and grow in grace. Until we meet again, stay blessed.